Hello once again, guys. So much happening that I just wanted to do another mini broadcast. I know a lot of you like these super bite-sized ones, but you know me, I get to the point, I don't waffle. Just putting out a tweet here from David Vance. And, sorry, that's the one about the Nord Stream. That wasn't the one I wanted to read. This is the one. Now, you know the pound has been collapsing, and everyone says it's Kwasi-Kwarteng's budget. So kind of the poor guy, I feel a bit sorry for him. It's all been lumbered on him when, look, I think it was an ill-advised budget, bearing in mind the circumstances and everything. But look, any budget was going to fail, so what? But anyway, like David Vance says, the UK's commitment of a further 2.3 billion to Ukraine next year is greater than the amount of the tax cuts announced on Friday. But where was the outrage about that? Kind of puts it into perspective, doesn't it? That's what I talked about in the other one. Now, do you notice the pound is almost at parity with the dollar, almost at parity with the euro? So we have America, Britain, the whole of the EU. What is that, nearly 1 billion people? Because it's like 550 million in the Eurozone. America, nearly 400. So, it's nearly 1 billion people using those currencies, nearly. And they'll be at parity. Isn't that convenient for an introduction of a digital currency that will unite all three of them? So George Gallo actually said that, and I thought, yeah, he's right. I agree with that. So, yeah, I think that's... Wait a minute. I think I will tell you something. Just reach down here. I'm also going to be talking about Nord Stream a little bit. I just wanted to say, when I did the UK chart, as you know, Saturn has been in Aquarius, and it's just retrograde at the moment. It already conjunct the UK's Venus in Aquarius in the 5th house, right? And it's going to kind of turn direct again, kind of near that position, but not quite. But the interesting thing is, in history, when Saturn conjunct Venus, we had in 1992 Black Wednesday, which was a stock market crash, right? It was also a time when the GDP was really down, when crime was up, when there were huge job losses, recession, and when the Bank of Credit and Commerce went bust. So quite similar. Then let's go back to other similar years we have here. In September 1980, Uranus was also triggering Saturn, okay, by square. And during that time, unemployment was the worst it was, a post-war high, okay. And, obviously the Tories were doing extremely badly in the polls at that point. Okay, in 1987, when the North Node was again conjunct Mars, which is in Taurus in the 8th house for the UK chart, there was unemployment of 3 million. So you can see similar themes of really bad economic dire straits. There was also the Black Monday, when 50 trillion was wiped off Wall Street. So also terrible time for the stock market. July of 1947, we also had that node conjunct Mars, and that was a loss of the UK's currency reserves. When Pluto was affecting Jupiter, which is kind of 1 degree of, is it Leo in the, yeah, 1 degree of Leo in the UK chart. So when Pluto was in Scorpio squaring that position, it was, unemployment was greater than 3 million. So you can see that's a similar thing. And in 1976, when the South Node was triggering Mars, when Jupiter was also triggering Mars in the UK's 8th house, and when Saturn was triggering Jupiter, which right now Jupiter is about to be triggered by Pluto, the UK had to get an IMF bailout. There was the sterling crisis, and the pound was at a record low against the dollar. So many of the planetary triggers that are happening now were similar to times in the past, with very high employment, recession, GDP plummeting, and the pound at its lowest. But I think it's surpassing all records. So hope you enjoyed that on the pound, guys.